Hi guys, it's Hanny from Eclipse All Sports, and I just want to bring you a quick video showing you how I knock a cricket bat in. I'm not saying it is the only way to knock a cricket bat in or it is the best way to knock a cricket bat in, but this is how I knock cricket bats in. Other people might knock them in differently or may have better ways of knocking a bat in, but this seems to work well for me. So if you want to take some tips on what I do, and if you want to incorporate that into your knocking in process, then by all means. So I just hope you find it useful and helpful, but like I say, it is not the be all and end all of how to knock in a cricket bat, but just a useful guide on how I do things. So basically this is a SF cricket bat. It's probably a medium to soft cricket bat. I'll show you a few different mallets that I've got. So this is a cherry wood mallet. I mainly use this probably to work on the toe if the toe is quite soft, and also the edges if the edges are fairly sharp and I don't want to use the other mallet. The other mallet incidentally is a lignum vitae mallet, so these are very dense, very heavy, so a little bit more difficult to knock the edges in with one of these, and if you do it wrong you can damage the edges of the cricket bat. So that's why I tend to use the lighter mallet for the edges, because it's easier to maneuver as it's lighter, and you can be a little bit more gentle on the edges and just work them gently in, because the weakest points on a cricket bat tend to be the toe of the bat and also the edges. So these are the areas that you need to work on the most. So what you want to do, some people say you need to deflect off the toe. For me, I work straightforward just like this, and I will work the toe like that. The reason I do that is when you're playing a cricket shot, you're going to be stopping the ball front on. You're not going to be deflecting it like this downwards. You're going to be hitting the ball front on. So you want to try and replicate what kind of impact the bat will receive when you're actually using it. So knocking in the toe like that. And what you're trying to do is create little indentations, and then you can look into the light and you can see those indentations, and then all you try and do is level out the indentations, and you know the knocking in process is going well when you started to level out all the indentations. And when you're hitting the bat, you can start to increase how hard you hit the bat, and if you're not leaving any indentations when you're striking the bat fairly hard, then you know the knocking in process is nearly done. So you can work way down the middle. What I tend to do is I'll follow a line, so I'll follow a grain on the bat and I'll just work my way down all the way up to the top of the stickers. I won't go past the top of the stickers, and the reason that is you don't want to be knocking in around the splice area, because you can loosen the splice and then it'll loosen the handle, so you don't want to knock anywhere past the sticker really. So I would say up to the sticker point is absolutely fine, because this is the area that you should be striking the ball in, and you shouldn't really be hitting too many balls up by the splice and the handle. So yeah, so just work your way up and down the bat. Like so, and you can gradually increase the amount of force that you apply onto the bat. There's no indentations when you are hitting it like this, then you can start hitting it a little bit harder. And as soon as you start creating an indentation, you know you're hitting the bat hard enough. And if you're still not creating any indentations, then you can start to increase the force a little bit more. Around the middle area should be the most pressed, so that should be fairly firm, and it shouldn't need too much knocking in if it's been pressed properly. If it's been pressed too soft, then it might take a little bit of knocking in and take a little bit longer to get ready. For the edges, again, a lot of people will deflect off the edges like so. If you can see there, they will work like this and deflect. You can do that, that's absolutely fine. What I'll do front on the edges, and I'll work that nicely around the edge there, so for the front on impact, and then you can just gently start rounding the edges. So be very careful when rounding the edges, and you just want to basically just push the edge round so you're getting that rounding effect, and that's what I do. And then as you're working the edge round, you can bring the mallet round a bit, probably easier for me to show on this edge, but you just gently work the edge around. So you are coming off at a slight angle, and you just push the edge around slightly. And you're just trying to round it off as best as you can possibly. And you just work your way all the way up. So if you have a look there, you can see, if I show you in the light, hopefully you can see that the edge has been rounded compared to further up. You can see where I've stopped rounding it just there. And that's with what, about 30 seconds of knocking. That's rounded the edge. So you can just do that all the way up, and you want to do it all the way up to the shoulder, just round it. And then obviously as it becomes more rounded, you can increase the amount of force that you're applying on the edge, but you don't want to hit the edge too hard. What I'll tend to do is, once I've started rounding it with the cherry wood mallet, which is a little bit lighter, and I feel it's knocked in quite well, then I would start using the lignum just to finish off the knocking, because this is quite heavy. You've got to be very careful, and this will just round off that edge really nice, and you'll get a nice solid edge. So when you do accidentally inside edge the ball, or you get a nick off, then you're not going to damage your cricket bat. And that's the kind of force that you want to be applying if you're using quite a heavy duty mallet. So I'll just show you how hard you're going to be hitting the face. That's how hard I'll be hitting the face of the bat. And this mallet, because it's a little bit heavier, is going to do all the work. I don't need to swing too hard. I just let the weight of the mallet do all the work, and then you're not going to tire yourself out as much then as well. So you just let the mallet do all the work. And basically what I'll do is I'll rest this on my leg. So just on my thigh there, I'll just rest the handle, and you just do that. And you just work your way up and down the blade, being careful on the toe of the bat, and spending extra time on the edges of the bat. And knocking in can vary between different bats and how bats are pressed. So for me, it could take anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on the pressing of the bat. The more firm a bat's pressed tends to mean less knocking in is required. But yeah, that's how long you want to be spending on your cricket bat knocking in. And I think with the knocking in process, some people get carried away and say they want to do it for 3-4 hours. It's not necessary to do that much knocking in, because it's going to get to a point where your knocking in is not making any difference to the bat at all. So you're just basically wasting your time. So what you want to do then, once you've worked the edges and worked the toe, you can put a scuff sheet and some edge tape on, which we'll show you in another video on how to do that. And then you want to take it down to nets, get some throwdowns and just some old cricket balls, and just hit some old cricket balls back. And we may do a video on just a few throwdowns on, you don't want to be striking the ball too hard, you just want to be playing some gentle pushbacks, and you just want to feel the bat and feel where the middle positioning. Get used to the bat as well. It'll help you get used to the feel and the balance of the bat, and it'll just help play it in nice and gently until it's ready to use against the new cricket balls. So I'll show you another thing that we like to do with the edges as well. We like to use this tool, which we use for boning of the edges. So if you have a look there, that's got some lignum wood there as well, which is nice and hard and dense, and it helps round off the edges. So basically what you'll do is, a lot of people will put this in a vise, but if you haven't got a vise and you haven't got one of these, you can also use this. So this is a gripping cone. This is the handle of a mallet as well, so it's one of those dual purpose items. So it normally has a wooden mallet end on this, but you can unscrew it and use it as a gripping cone, and so put your grips on. So we'll do a video of putting grips on and showing you different grips and the different processes for different grips as well. You can see all the little grooves in the handle there where I've been rounding the edges with this. And so basically you can put this on the floor, and then you just use both hands and you can put some pressure on just to roll the edges to get a nice even rolled finish on the edge. And what I'll do is I'll put the camera down and I'll try and show you that now. So your cricket bat, if you just put it here, and if you've just got, say, a gripping cone and you don't have a boning tool, you can use your gripping cone handle. and basically you get both hands and you can just roll the edge. So all this is doing is rounding the edge. So when you do get an inside edge or an outside edge, it's just going to deflect the ball off the edge rather than hitting it flush and causing a crack. So you're just trying to gently round it. You don't want to put too much force, but you just want to put enough force just to round off the edge, because basically all your knocking in that you've been doing to round the edge, that should do most of the work, and then this is just to smooth and even it out. And you can basically, what you can do, you can turn it around the other way and you can roll out the top edge of the bat as well. And if you want, some people like to do it, if the edges are really sharp on the back of the bat, you can roll the back edges of the bat and the spine as well, and that just prevents the back edges and the spine getting big dents or picking up any damage. You can just roll them and get them nice and rounded as well. So yeah, I hope this video's helped a little bit. So basically the areas you want to be spending the majority of your time on is your edges and your toe. Once the mallet has stopped making indentations, then you can start using it in throwdowns in nets. So if you're not quite sure if you've done enough knocking in, what you can do is get yourself a new cricket ball. So if you get yourself a new cricket ball with a nice hard seam, and you just hold it with the seam, and you can just hit the face of the bat with the seam of the ball. And if there's no seam indentation showing up on the face of the bat, then that's a good indication that you've done enough knocking in to start going on to the next process, which is throwdowns. So in the next video, what we'll do is we'll show you how to put the edge tape and the scuff sheet on, and then you can get your bat ready for the throwdowns. So some people like to put fibre edge tape on, some people just like a clear scuff sheet, some people like to put fibre edge tape around the toe. Me personally, I like to put fibre edge tape on the edges and the toe, and obviously a scuff sheet on as well. The reason for that is, especially when your bat is new, you want to protect it as much as possible. I hope you found this video useful. It's a few little tips and tricks on how to do the knocking in process and what to expect whilst knocking in. I've not tried to make it too long, just tried to keep it simple as possible. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and a like. And if there's anything else you'd like to see or anything you feel we've missed out, then please leave a comment in the comment section. We will be doing a video shortly of how to apply a grip to a cricket bat, so do keep your eyes out for that one. And then in the next one, we will be doing the scuff sheet and the edge tape as well. So we'll show you how to apply that. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.